A very good morning, students. Our session of Financial Management 1. Now, as far as our previous session was concerned, in that we have discussed about the different patterns of capital structure. In the last session, we already discussed the first two patterns, that is capital structure with equity shares only, and the second one is capital structure with equities and preference shares. Now in today's session we are going to discuss the remaining two patterns. The third one, that is capital structure with equity shares and debentures. Now as far as this pattern is concerned, in this pattern the organization offers equity and debt capital to their investors. So practically this is one of the most convenient pattern for investors who wishes to take risk, and for those investors who are the risk seeker and who want the regular income from the organization. Equity means you are offering the ownership capital, means the investors who are risky, they will definitely prefer equity shares of the organization. And debentures, in debenture it is fixed by its maturity, and in debenture organization offers regular and timely dividend to the debenture holders. So definitely this pattern attracts each and every class of investors. Now let's see about its merits and demerits of this pattern. The first one, it offers benefits of trading on equity. Yes, definitely organization gets the benefit of trading on equity. The main reason is that because they are offering both type of capitals to their investor. That is, equity capital is provided by the company, and along with equities, company also issues debentures in the market. Second one, the cost of issuing debenture is relatively low. Yes, as compared to cost of equity, the cost of debentures are relatively low. So the organization gets the benefit of lower cost of capital with the combinations of equity and debenture. Third one, interest paid on debenture holder is deductible while accessing tax liability of the company. As we already know that the debenture interest is totally tax free, and on equities company is not paying regular dividend to their shareholders. So ultimately company gets the benefit of this structure, because on debenture interest they gets the tax benefit, and on equity dividend and the equity dividend is not compulsory to pay regular and timely to our shareholders. So ultimately company gets the maximum benefit. Fourth one, since debenture holders have no voting rights, interference in the management is avoided, and yet additional capital can be obtained through the issue of debentures. As we all know that if a company raises their whole capital through through equities only, then definitely equity shareholders have the voting powers, and they are able to rule the management by their voting powers. But here organization raises some of its capital through equity and rest of the capital through debentures, and debenture holders do not have any kind of voting rights. So ultimately equity shareholders are not able to influence the managerial decisions by their voting rights. So ultimately, company gets the benefit of no voting right policy on debenture holders. The next one, these type of capital structure can attract investors with different attitude and liking. As we already discussed in our introductory part, that this capital structure is for both types of investors, those who are risky and those who are the risk seekers. The sixth one, that this is the flexible capital structure. Yes, this is one of the most flexible capital structure. On the basis of requirement of capital, the organization raises their capital through equity or through debentures. It is totally depends upon the financial requirement of the concerned organization. Seventh one, generally the rate of interest on debenture is lower than the rate of dividend on preference shares, because debenture is a debt capital. So here the main purpose of issuing debenture is not to attract the market but to satisfy their need of debt capital. So the interest on debt capital, that is debenture, is lower as compared to the preference share. So ultimately company gets the benefit by providing lower interest to their debenture holders. So it's about the merits of capital structure with equity and debentures. Now let's discuss about its limitations, that is demerits. The first one, that is during the period of depression, it is burdensome for the company to pay interest on their debentures. Yes, when the company's earning is not stable, or when the period of recession is there, so at that point of time the company is not able to pay sufficient interest to their debenture holders. And as we know that debenture interest is compulsory for the organization, means each and every year in a proper manner company needs to pay the interest of debenture, whatever the situation it will be. So during the period of depression, it is really very difficult for the company to pay interest on the debentures. Then after, the second one, in the case of default, if the company is not financially strong, if the creditworthiness of the company goes down, so at that point of time it is too difficult for the company to make the repayment of debenture principal amounts to their holders. So when there is a default from the side of company, so at that time it is really very difficult to pay the principal amounts to their debenture holders. Then after third one, the company has to bear a burden of payment of fixed interest. Definitely, in initial year it is easy to pay interest on the debentures, but if the debenture is for the long period of time, then definitely it will become very difficult for the organization to make the payment of interest regularly and in a proper amount. And the last one, that is there are financial policies, there are many restrictions for the company for the issue of debentures, because each and every company want to issue debenture as there is a tax benefit on the interest of debenture. but there are strict policies, strict regulations from the government side for the issue of debentures. So it is not easy for each and every organization that is to issue debentures to raise their financial position or to raise their capital through debt source. So that's all about the capital structure with equities and debentures. Now the last source, that is capital structure with equity, preference and debenture. Generally in this source, normal company is not able to make their capital structure with the combinations of each and every securities. It is only possible for the large organization who are there in the market for the longest period of time and who have a regular and stable and again a handsome earning with them. And when the market is totally very large for them, so at that point of time it is convenient for the organization to issue equities, preference and debentures at a time, and they are able to attract each and every class of investors. So this structure is one of the best structure that each and every investor wants in a single entity, in a single organization. So let's discuss about its merits and demerits. The first merit, the first advantages is a company with this pattern of capital structure can enjoy advantages of all the patterns stated above. Yes, definitely, the company gets the benefit of equities, it gets the benefit of debenture, or it gets the benefit of preference shares. The second one, the market of the company's securities is considerably wider, as there are few investors who wishes to invest in equities only, then they get those investors, and ultimately the company is able to cover the whole market with the issue of different securities of a single company. Then after, third point, full benefits of trading on equity can be realized from this type of capital structure. Yes, company gets the full benefit of trading on equity because they are paying dividend to their preference shareholders, they are paying interest on their debenture holders, and ultimately if the earning of if the earning of company is very high, then definitely they offer maximum dividend to their equity shareholders. So ultimately they get the benefit of trading on equity. The next one is, this is highly flexible pattern of capital structure. Yes, the company is going to raise the capital on the basis of their financial requirement. If the requirement is for a long period of time, if the requirement is to satisfy their working capital need, then the company has different option, and on the basis of that option they are able to satisfy their financial need. The last one, it is most economical pattern of capital structure. Yes, when company raises capital through equity, through preference and through debenture, then overall cost of capital will goes down. So in this pattern, the cost of capital is relatively lower than other pattern. So it is one of the best pattern through which company gets the maximum fund with the minimum cost. Now let's discuss about its demerits. First one, it is very difficult to pay interest to our debenture holders and dividend to our preference shareholders during the time of depression. So when there is a recession in the market, when the earning of the company will goes down, so at that time it is really very difficult to pay regular and timely interest and dividend to our shareholders and debenture holders. Then after the second one, this is the most complicated pattern of capital structure. Yes, it is very difficult for the outsider to understand the pattern of capital of our organization, because we offers both. We offers each and every types of securities. So it is one of the complex pattern of capital structure. Third one, the directors are not free to deal with the earning of the company as they wish. Yes, here directors cannot enjoy the ultimate benefits of earning of the company, because they need to pay interest of debentures, they need to pay dividend on preference shares, and ultimately they are going to pay dividend to their equity shareholders. So here directors do not get maximum benefits on the earning of company as they wish. And if the company goes on default, if the company's credit worthiness will go down, so at that point of time it is really very difficult to pay our debentures and to pay our preference shares in time. And the last disadvantages is equity shareholders are not able to get the maximum benefit where preference are there and where debentures are there, because if the earning goes up, then the debenture holders get interest on a proper basis, and if the earning goes up, then preference shareholders also demand the higher rate of dividend. So the whole earning is divided amongst their equity shareholders and the preference shareholders. Debentures and on preference shareholders. So ultimately, debenture shareholders do not get advantages of additional earning of the company. So this is the different patterns of the capital structure that we are studying. And here we are ending our chapter, that is capital structure. In the next session, we are going to discuss about second chapter, that is capitalization. So till now, I am ending our session. So thank you girls. Thank you so much.